Hello and welcome to Channel Sports on Sunday. I am Ken Ochonogo. I tell you, we apologize for coming a little bit late, but then the show has just kicked off. In times like this, when we are transiting, because I think we are almost at the curve of that, that peak when it was still, spiking every day, going up and down, moving higher. And right now, I think we got into the plateau and probably coming down. Was trying to open up. And of course, sport is opening up because that was what has been in the abyss for a very, for almost about 2 months or so. Since March, most sporting activities have been put on hold. But right now, we're trying to experiment and see if we are not daring fate. We are trying to see that probably the safety measures that we put in place is enough for us to practice sport safely and not transmit or contract this dreaded COVID-19 virus. Sport is back, is gradually creeping back. The Bundesliga is the second week that has been on. Of course, we're talking about football here. We're moving away a bit from virtual sports. Others are still virtual. Boxing is saying we're coming back. UFC say we are coming back. Motorsport, you say we are coming back. A lot of them has built, but in that trend. But then we talked about that of the big 5 leagues in Europe. It's been a question of when do we do that. But with the Bundesliga taking that initiative, we are starting. I think others are saying yes, we can do that. And La Liga guys, the Prime Minister there said, look, yes, you guys can kick off by the 8th of June. So that is good news for those persons who have been, are the La Liga fans. So we're looking at that. England also, the first phases, practicing in little groups. They are also coming back to see when the team can gel and see also if by June 12th, which is a date they are looking at, to say it is possible, for the league to start. So all well done. We told you about the Italian Serie A. And that one, they are telling you, yes, okay, Serie A can start. But then when they do start, if a team, which is that clause that is there, which is that caveat that is there, that if a member of a team tests positive, then they're going to quarantine the whole team for 2 weeks. So if 2 teams get a test, players or officials of 2 teams do that, how do you do that? You're talking about a lot of fixtures congestion, a lot of fixtures cancellation that might happen. When you put them in quarantine for 2 weeks, they do nothing. And that is the thing. So we are going to look at all those and see the implications of what is happening. But last week we started on something here. We look at the sport policy. We look at the guiding framework of our sports in Nigeria. We look at that roadmap that we say this is where we want to take, that if we able to put that documentation okay, if we're able to put the right, this is, how do I say it? If we're able to say, okay, fine, we draft that which is okay for us to, to take us through that tunnel, then probably we might get it right. But we'll let you see what are the obligations. We look at the objectives last week. We look at the obligations of the 3 tiers of government, the federal government, the state government, and the local government, and how they intend to do that. And I tell you, it will shock you when we now bring you for you to look at the sports budget, the sports budget. That is the funding where it's going to come from. And it is not what you will smile about. Probably the experts will tell you that, is this something that are we just talking about sport with our lips, or we are serious about it? We shall also look outside because it is about the money. It is about the money. And one young girl, one young lady, there she just earned $37.4 million in 1 year. In 1 year. Theo and Jimmy, they were looking at me and I said, FIFA sent $500,000 to Nigeria. And we are saying, man, this is money. How are we going to share it? Meanwhile, one little girl, one young lady is earning 37 million. And then they auctioned somebody's shoe, his sneaker, for $560,000. I tell you, we are still far from it. But we will get there if we are able to follow the roadmap. My guys are in the house, so let us not waste too much time. Jimmy, you're welcome to the show.
Ever a pleasure to be here.
Yeah.
Last week, Bambo did say that sports is a nascent industry in Nigeria. maybe that's so. Maybe we just look at the amounts being touted. Naomi Osaka at 7.4. That's crazy sum of money. And also, you recollect the fact that when FIFA did actually say, okay, we'll be having this amount given Nigeria, we started talking about infrastructural deficit instead of, being proactive to look at what's happening with the clubs and all the whatnot. So it's great to be here. We have a lot to talk about.
Okay, Jimmy, we left but let's look at the Catalan. Theo is here also. Theo is in the house. Theo, if not for COVID-19, by now we were talking about China's Kids Cup season 12. But it is not. It is not to be for now.
Well, good afternoon, viewers. It's good to be here again. Yes, but for the COVID-19 pandemic, we would have actually been talking about the finals.
The final, of course. So today is 24th. We're talking about 27th, 25, 26, 27.
The media to already players come around. To
the but now they would have been.
And all of that, and then let's not forget the thrills that you actually encounter when you're in the stadium watching these kids come together to play football. One season actually struck me the most. I'm talking about. I think that was in 2018.
Okay.
I think that was season 10. Where LG Mohammed from Kwara defeated Baptist Primary School by 3-1. I remember I called that match in the final that day. At the point, the game was 1-0, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, we saw a free kick. Boom, 2-1. Next thing, 3-1.
Can we take that match? Can we take that match? This is the 2018 final that he's actually talking about. Can we take this match?
And the defender is on hand to attempt to clear this one. He's still holding on to the ball, talking about the ball from Kwara. But the ball is cleared out now, and it goes outside for a throw-in.
As it is Kwara that is favored to lift the glittering trophy.
Yes. That is 2018. I know that the boys from Kwara, the boys from Osun. Ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀ṣun. Jimmy, Ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀ṣun.
Some played the game. Some actually played with their mouth. Theo was waxing so little, and I was like, but you never played the game.
No, come on. Come on. But then you have me talking about wanting to put his money on the stool from Osun State. His smart money on the team from Osun State.
They were the comeback.
Exactly. But what if they actually showed it throughout the qualification rounds of that particular season. But what proved it was that Kwara had been in the finals 2 years in a row. That was their third year. And I don't think they were going to let it slip past by them.
And it didn't.
And he did it. And he did it in a emphatic fashion. They were not banging in free kicks from.
And you called about the Holyfield was right there.
Yes, of course.
Special guest.
We still Holyfield came around.
He came around
that. So we are on it. We're on 2018. I mean, this week we're celebrating. Apart from this show, Sport This Morning, Sports Tonight, we shall all be just taking you back to say yes, what would have been. But we have not said it is not going to be.
Definitely.
Because there are still a lot of possibilities.
Definitely.
As we move on. And the Bundesliga, I would say yes, day 2 of resumption. In part 1 and part 2. And let us see if we can get some of those results quickly and then move on, because we want to talk about the sport policy is what we are looking at today. But let's just briefly look at the results because points per game is what there was one of the results yesterday that of course you would have said the home team would have won or pick up a draw, and that was Gladbach taking on Bayern Leverkusen.
Yeah, and they lost 1-3 at home.
Yes.
Freiburg also lost 0-1
to Werder Bremen, which is at the bottom of the league.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Paderborn, Jamie Collins plays there.
Yeah.
They also played at a 1-1 draw with Offenheim. Dortmund did the needful on Wolfsburg, defeating them 0-2.
And Bayern,
2-0. Then Bayern discombobulating Eintracht Frankfurt.
That was Okocha was playing for that club when he scored that great goal against Oliver
individual goals
against Oliver Kahn. I remember some years back. So that is the thing. And then if it's possible, we can have the table. We'll look at what is there are a few more matches today that they are going to play. So that is the Bundesliga setting. I think they're not the pace setter. Asking other leagues that we can do it safely.
And you recollect that I said last week that there will be a lot of flexibility because right now we are seeing more of the leagues getting more flexible.
Schalke will be hosting Augsburg. Mainz to take on RB Leipzig. And unfortunately, Düsseldorf will be visiting FC
Cologne. I mean, Cologne, that is where Olise played. Yeah. Olise was in Cologne, and Olise was also in Borussia Dortmund. And he played in the closed.
I think, like you said, the German Bundesliga set the pace, but I'm actually even happy that the La Liga started to resume on the 8th of June. And you don't know how long, how bad I felt not watching Lionel Messi play football for the past couple of months. So you get to see
Barcelona. What's not even trying to narrow it to Lionel Messi or the other superstars. I think the most important thing has been the fact that somebody braved it. We've seen the German league brave it, and everybody is trying as much as possible as a model to copy what they have been able to do, and probably include some of the things that makes for whatever makes that league special.
Yeah, but
watch their celebration when everybody bumps their face. Try to maintain social distancing still.
But,
you know?
the thing is that when you want to score and I want to stop it from scoring, forget social distancing.
I will do anything to take you down.
You are not maintaining. You
to bring your man down.
It without knowing. You understand? But you're just talking about the German Bundesliga, because in Germany they did a lot of early testing. They tested. They were trying to test everybody. It's not
they were well prepared.
They were prepared for it. I mean, their reaction time was faster than most of the European countries. So probably that was why the casualty rate was a bit, and they were able to come back. Because when you compare that with Italy and also in England and United Kingdom and Spain that had such high casualty rate, I think. But let us see if there is no spike resulting from this. FC Bayern are there on top, Jimmy.
Yes, 61 points. 4 points lead over Borussia Dortmund at 57. Bayern Leverkusen on 53 points, and Mönchengladbach being on 52 points. They are, the fourth on the log.
All right, so that let's leave that now, and just also inform me that yes, Celtic have won the league.
9 in a row.
Nine in a row.
9 in a row.
When anytime any team,
total.
That is what they normally do in Scotland. A team will win 10 years in a row, another will win 9 years in a row. And I'm glad this one also helped because of the relegation of Rangers. To 30 before Rangers started coming back off. Because that is the only
the major team that
challenge them.
We have era, Celtic era. Maybe Aberdeen will come in, maybe Otangos under Alex Ferguson. They won about 2 or 3 times.
There was a Dundee.
So one team will just come in, but it has always been that is Celtic. That is the team that one of the greatest team for now.
1966 and between the years 1966 and 1974, they actually did it also 9 in a row.
That was why in 67 they were the first British team to win the Champions League, the Champions Cup. Then before Manchester United won the following year.
And some have not won it.
And some are yet to taste.
Some only got to the final.
Some have not won it.
European Some have not tasted it at all.
Of course, some teams are like, I don't want to say they are Moses. They just saw the promised land, and then they didn't step their foot on it. I'm not saying the club is from London. I don't have the right to say that. I don't have a right to say that. Okay, so that is it. So let's as we are saying this, of course, some of the players are saying we are likely not going to come back. And one of those, the first man to say so was Troy Deeney, the captain of Watford. He said due to health reasons, so I'm not going to that. And then N'Golo Kante now has also said I'm not returning to training and may not. And even the Chelsea board has said, look, we see to you. Probably there are some underlying illnesses. Probably if you're asthmatic or if whatever.
Remember in 2018, he actually did collapse.
Not just once.
Not just once. He also had a brother 2 years ago.
So for those ones, for football, there will always be football. But as long as it is not safe for them to do that, probably they say, look, humanity comes first, human lives come first, and that is what they are saying. Okay, so let's also move on. Let's move on because we don't have much that we want to cover at this period in time. That's N'Golo Kante and also Troy Deeney. They are saying, look, based for health reasons, we cannot come back now. So let's talk about Naomi Osaka. Let's talk about Naomi Osaka because Forbes just came out. The list will be out, but they just given us the tip of the iceberg. They said this lady, this Japanese, this Haitian. The father is from Haiti. The mother is Haiti is black. Africa is black.
Let's leave
no matter where you come from, as far as you are a black man, you are an African.
Was still born then. We are talking about Kids Cup.
Yeah. So we can look at that, and that is the thing. She just made a whopping 37.4 million. That is
30.8. Yeah,
that is pounds. That is a pound. But in dollars, $37.4 million in 1 year. Crazy. And that is what she just made. And Forbes said, look, no woman has done that in history. I mean,
before then it was Serena Williams always doing. At the time it was actually Maria Sharapova. She's broken the record for 12 months, a 12-month period. She's actually 29th on the ranking for everybody.
While Serena is 33. Exactly. But we are saying Serena is second, but the lady that came second has 36 million. 36. She made 36 million.
Exactly.
My guy, this is it. So even we are saying sport is gloomy in this area. We are saying Nigerians can do this. We are saying Nigerians.
Ken, she's got 15 sponsors.
Yeah, we've got.
A lot
and that tells you something.
It tells you something about the brand because it's now no longer about the sport.
Yeah.
It's about an individual that's been able to brand herself. She belongs to one of the top sports management group.
Yes,
in the world.
Are managed by the IMG.
IMG.
Yeah.
And definitely when you are managed by a very... I'll tell you something about Sheyi Adebayo. Sheyi Adebayo was also being managed by IMG. That's why he was, at the end of the day, he was getting club after club. You just wonder, how good is this guy?
Jimmy, let me surprise you.
Yeah.
I want to throw a bombshell
Yeah.
if it's like that.
Yeah.
I think the greatest undoing of J.J. Austin Okocha was that he never had a good management.
He never had a good management.
If Austin Okocha had a good management with the skill he had,
Definitely.
I mean, Ronaldinho met him at PSG.
Exactly.
Ronaldinho went to Barcelona. Why he went to Bolton?
$17 million at that time. PSG, we were waxing lyrical about it.
So if Okocha had a great management, you look at
his career would have transcended.
You look at charisma. You look at charisma and Ronaldo, and then you look at focus. Charisma has more skill, even more than Ronaldo.
Yes.
But look at it. You look at Denilson in Brazil compared to other,
other stars period,
who are looking. So if Okocha with the abundance of skill he had a very good manager, a winning and not entertaining.
Look at the fact that she's equally one of the best tennis players on the planet at the moment, and equally one of the most influential women in the world.
All right. Okay, we go on a very short break. It's going to be very, very hot today. We are going to open the lines, and you are going to join us. I'm Ken Ochonogo for now. Stay with us. All right, you're welcome back. That is still the 2018 Channels International Kids Cup final. And I tell you, the boys from Kwara haven't come so close. They came third, they came second, and they say, why can't you take it? The same thing when Kaduna won it. Kaduna came third, they came second, and then they went on to win it. The case would be they would have been salivating and say, like, but now we'll be in Lagos. They look forward to it. The sport officers that come from those states, and a whole lot of them are better. Okay, we're into phase 2 of the show now. And then, yes, Yemi's in the house.
Good afternoon, viewers. Good afternoon, Ken. It's that time of the year where we typically look forward to the finale of the Kids Cup.
Grand finale.
The grand finale of the Kids Cup. Children's Day, I'm sure it will have been like 3 days.
3 days to go.
To go, and I can imagine the coaches of the teams in the semi-finals and the finals coming here on set for the kids at home to see them for inspiration. But like someone said, maybe year 2020, maybe we should all install it because of the virus and reinstall it. It has affected a lot of things, not just sport, our lives, the way we do things. Everything has just changed, but that will not dampen our spirit. Football is coming back to life, and I'm sure, like you said at the beginning of the show, it's not. We're not looking. We're not taking out the possibility of still hosting the Channels Kids Cup later on in the year when the situation
with a new format.
Even with a new format, when the situation improves. So it's not all bad news. Bad news. Things can still.
There is hope at the end of the tunnel.
Hope at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, okay.
Absolutely.
All right. You just had him look at this. Look, forget it. We are not the final. By now, what I'm saying, 3 days to the final. I remember clearly, vividly, last year, as at this time, I think about a day or two to the final, when a player from the Rivers, from the Lagos team, and also from Kwara, the goalkeeper from Kwara, the striker, they forged their friendship right there on the set, and who was going to pick it? At the end of the day, it was the Rivers team, the kids from Rivers that emerged champions. That was in 2019. But this is on 2018. We're still going to give you the teasers of 2018. Okwe Majala is in the house. Okwe, we're talking about what? Funding from the same father, the same mother. How is it happening?
Yeah, Ed feature to our Muslim viewers. And I saw something. The UK for 20... That was pre-COVID anyway. For 2023-24, they were planning injecting £29 million into primary school sports. £29 million.
29 million pounds into primary school sports. That is United Kingdom.
Yes, okay. United Kingdom.
Okay.
I think I'd like to quote Coach Maturana. He said something about sport being a vehicle for actualization of dreams and also disappointment. Yeah. And I think that is what sport does. And one of the schools, I think it was the year before, they were the bronze medalists from Osun. And of course, they got like a volleyball court.
Yeah, courtesy of our sponsors at T.Y. Danjuma Foundation. Yes.
So those are the kind of dreams you expect sport to actualize for you. But again, sport and funding are like Siamese twins. They go hand in hand.
Okay. Sport and funding as Siamese twins, like I said, that is inseparable, and there is no way you separate one from the other. That's why I said they are Siamese twins. But then let us briefly, we started with the sport policy last week. We are going to continue. We are also going to open the line, so it's going to today we're having a little bit of congestion, but we need to push these things on. But let's briefly look at the budget, the 2020 appropriation bill for, that was given for the Ministry of Youth and Sports. And let's see the figures that are there briefly before we go back to the sport policy and look at the obligations of the three tiers of government. From what you can see, who takes that?
Okay, so for the Federal Ministry of Youth and Sports, the 2020 FG budget proposal, which has been signed into law anyway. Federal Ministry of Youth and they have 5 headers. Federal Ministry of Youth and Sport Development headquarters. They have a total allocation of 7.2 billion. Citizenship and Leadership Training Center at a total allocation of 1.3 billion plus. National Youth Service Corps, that's the NYSC, is taking a large chunk of it, 161.8 billion. The Nigerian Football Federation, the NFF, is taking like a little above 1 billion, and the Nigerian Institute of Sport, which is supposed to be where
the research and
training and all those things that builds the bedrock of the sport gets like 531 million. So the large chunk of this is coming from is going to the NYSC, which is 161 out of a total budget of 172 billion. So for me, this has always been the clamor for people in this space to say the NYC is taking a large chunk of the money from the Ministry of Youth and Sport. Where are we going to get money for sport development? If NYC, that's the salary for the youth corpers, the uniform, the allowances, feeding. If it's taking 161 billion, then that means that
leaves 11 billion.
That leaves 11 billion for the entire sporting federation. How will our sport develop? So maybe the Ministry of Youth should be separated from or a separate budget be made for youth and give sport what it deserves. Because like this, if we continue like this, sport will never get. You
looked at the percentage of 100%. How much of this percentage goes to youth, goes to the NYSC?
It's a joint ministry, youth development, sport development.
Yes.
But unfortunately, when you prorate what goes to who gets what, youth development, cost your NYC gets 93.6% of the budget. 93.6%.
93% of the budget.
93.6%.
0.6%.
Decimal is more than 5, so you can't even end up and say 94%.
Okay.
So I think that is also
less than 7% is what goes to sports.
Sport development.
Or sport development. Now, okay. Go ahead.
From the sport development, you go to NFF. Despite anything anybody tells you, the NFF gets subvention from FIFA. NFF is strictly funded by the federal government of Nigeria. Forget any other story. They get like $531 million.
1.07 billion.
1.07 billion.
Yes.
However, the NIS, that is supposed to be the vanguard of dry sport development in itself, got 531 million. Now, we also need to give credit to the ministry because in time past, we had a research fund for NIS being in the token of less than 10 million, but this year it's about 15 million. But again, remember, we're having a budget review because it's already before the two houses got it last week. Because of the first quarter, we lost about 125 billion oil revenue, so it will obviously affect the budget. So
that they're going to review downwards.
Yes, when you are going to review, you won't review personnel costs.
Yes.
Now, things like research and research development will take the first hit. That tells you we have a very bad and it will be a very sad year for Nigerian sport development.
And Ken, if you now go into the breakdown of those sub-headers, okay, NFF, Federal Ministry, the headquarters, NIS, you will discover that about 94.8% of those allocation goes to what's it called, salary, emolument, and what have you.
Yeah.
So if you really, really look at it, money set aside for real development is nothing to write home about.
I think it's not. We also need to be fair. It's not only sport. Remember, at the instead of this COVID-19, we discovered that all our research institutes, that the bulk of the 90% of their funding goes to personnel costs. So nothing.
And the actual research.
For the
nothing is done.
core concept of the institute, nothing.
It's nothing.
So it's not only about sport. It's just a general way of life.
But then sport is my constituency. So we just have we are looking at this, and we are saying we have about 42 federations, right? And then we have a sport federation, and when you have removed 172 billion. After 172, you remove 161 to NYSC, leaving about 11 billion, and then you take 1 billion away for Nigerian football. For football, you take 1.3 billion away. By the time you remove all this, about how many billion?
You'll be left with like 3 points.
About 3 point something billion. And then when you now pay the salary of Ministry of Sport, whatever it is, what remains for the other 41 sport association federation? It is nothing. Absolutely nothing. Because even the NFF we are talking about here collects about 1.7, I look at 0.7 billion of, to them, while others, maybe like wrestling, you get like 20 million. You get like 20 million naira, and you say, go and perform miracle. When they can, so this is a guy that if sport, like he had just said, if sport is to develop, let us stop this Ministry of Youth and Sport. This is how much you are budgeting, allocating for sports. Let sports start on its own. Or because NYSC, our youth, how many kids, people are just graduating from school. The percentage of of youth is less than, I don't know, 5% or 1%.
Opinion will always be divided on the, how do I put it, on the relevance of the NYSC scheme. Opinion will always be divided. A lot of people have the opinion, yes, this has outlived his usefulness, blah, blah, blah. But while I'm not for creating another ministry, all we're saying is that this should be really looked into. If we really want to develop sport, if we don't want to make it a tool for just government propaganda, if we really want to be in the Committee of Nations where sporting nations are actually revered, we need to reverse the trend.
We need to reverse the trend. If you are budgeting 161 billion for NYSC, you should budget about 500 billion for sport. There is no doubt about it. We're not missing weights.
Why we can't fault the Youth Corp board or whatever for bringing out their budget? If you are saying you are increasing minimum wage from 18 to 30,000, you have to also factor that into what you pay the corp members. Now, why you can't fault what they get? What we can do is to make a case,
exactly.
Present
that's
case
our
for
position.
sport.
That's our position. That look, if you can budget, if you can use this as which is what they need, you're not giving them what they don't need. This is what the NYSC needs. So you can do that. But I'm saying that if you have 10 children, how many of them graduates, and how many of them are whatever? I'm saying
in alluding to what Okwe said.
Yeah.
In making a case, okay, so the little that you've been given, what have you done with it? We saw the case of the United Kingdom, where probably in 2016, 2017, where you would only get additional allocation.
No, it's even 2012, 2013. 2013. After the 2012
you will only
Olympics,
get additional allocation based on
your performance
of the previous year. So our sport administrators, because if you look at the 1 billion given to NFF, this is what NFF would say would take them, they will use in prosecuting a World Cup qualifier.
Still sponsored by state government.
Still sponsored by state government. So if you look at it, the little that they've been given, if they demonstrate capacity, if they show really that yes, we are here for development of this sport, yes, you can make a case, and yes, people will actually say yes.
I totally agree with you guys. We shall come to that to look at what is coming in. Why give football 1-something billion? Why are giving other sports 20 million, 30 million naira a year to work on?
Why is the NFF a line item?
That is,
and the Badminton Association is not a line item.
We shall look at that.
Another association not a line item.
Because in other clients, taking into consideration the fact that football has a greater followership. Football should be carrying other sports, but now football is a body on other sports. From what we are seeing, okay, we'll come back to this. Let us go back to the obligations of each of the 3 tiers of government. Let's see if we can briefly take what the federal government, what is their obligation, as spelled out in the national sport policy of 2009. Okay, let's go.
So the Article 3, subsection 2(1).
Yeah.
The federal government, through the National Sport Commission, shall be responsible for 1, providing enabling legislation for sport. 2, formulation and review of the national sport policy.
Yeah.
3, development and maintenance of federal government sports facilities.
Yeah.
4, creation of conducive environment for participation in sport. 5, identification, nurturing, and development of talent through a national early development program. 6, monitoring and coordination of programs on sport.
Okay.
7, collaboration with the Federal Ministry of Education on matters of school sport. 8, adequate preparation of elite athletes for international competitions. 9, providing adequate motivation and incentives in the form of scholarships, training grants, award, etc. to outstanding athletes and officials.
Okay.
10, providing at least 5% of its total budget for sport, for the maintenance of sport facilities and infrastructures. 11, ensuring adequate budgetary allocation for sports, not youth.
Okay.
12, organizing and funding of researches in sport with 50 million.
With 50 million.
13.
Those are the obligations of federal government.
There are supposed to be 14.
Yeah.
The other one, the 12th organized, the 13th, payment of subscription fees to international sport bodies.
Yes.
Then 14, bidding and hosting as much as possible for international sport competition periodically for the purpose of fast-tracking infrastructural development of the nation, as well as other socio-economic and political benefits.
Let us leave this. Let the remaining. Let us leave. I want to talk about this 13 payment of subscription fees to international sports bodies. I think we have been humiliated enough in most of these bodies. What is Nigeria is owing 5, 6, 7 years of non-payment. But these are for us to participate. You Nigerians are embarrassed when you want to go. They say no, you have not paid your subscription, so you cannot take part in a competition. They now start looking for money to pay for subscription. But how will they pay when the budget you are giving to them is very, very paltry? Less than 6% of for youth and sport is left for sports.
Let's bring out just one line item here, which says that 5% of the
at least
5%.
Yeah, that is item C.
Yes, 5% of the budgetary allocation for sport should be spent on. Should be used for maintenance.
Yes.
If you take away 5%,
that is 10.
If you take away 5%, of the entire 172 million, and the NYC has already taken 93.4%.
Exactly. Yes.
What is left?
What is left?
Nothing. So already the 5% for sport maintenance cannot.
You are not even getting 0.05%.
So what are we talking about?
Why would the cockroaches and rats and reptiles not take over the national stadium Abuja?
Why are we not going to have dilapidated stadium all over?
Okay. Let's go to the state. Let's see if we can have time. We'll go to the state.
So come back for the states. It's not about wearing the jerseys of Real Madrid and Barcelona.
Yes.
State executives.
Yes. 3-2-1. Okay. 3-2-2.
Provide adequate and standard facilities, organize and deliver sports services at their level. 2, encourage development of physical education and sport in schools. How?
Go on.
3, establish state sport council or commissions, as the case may be, for the development of sport in their state, and not necessarily for settling in-laws or brothers.
Okay.
4, ensure adequate budgetary allocation to sport.
That is a no-no. Go ahead.
5, identify and develop talented athletes within the state, not poaching. 6, ensure that at least 5% of the total budget for sport is
the same as given to the federal government.
They just lifted it from there and put it here. Go on.
At your level.
So 7, organize and hold regular competitions for all sports. 8, collaboration of the State Ministry of Education on matters of school sports. 9, payment of subscription to national sport federations. 10, adequate preparation of athletes for national competitions.
So in all the okay, can we go to the third one if we still have the time before we go on break? Can we go for the local government? The third tier? Okay.
So establish local government area sport committees. 2, provide adequate funds for sports in the area. 3, encourage development of physical education and sports in schools. 4, organize intra-local government sport competitions. 5, provide community-based sports centers in the area. 6, encourage the formation of sport clubs. 7, earmark at least 5% of his total budget for sport.
For the maintenance. Which facilities? There are no facilities. There are maintenance. Oh, yeah, go on.
8, collaborate with local government education authority board on matters of school sport. 9, payment of subscription to state sport associations. 10, adequate preparation for state competitions. So for federal, you have 14 functions. For state and local government, you have 10
functions. And then I think they will organize, encourage clubs, information of clubs, because I think that has been the bedrock, formally. We have sports club, we have boxing clubs, we have which a lot of athletes, did come out from. That is what operates all over the world, where you have clubs. I know we have the Shell Club, the Eagle Club, a lot of all
every sector of the Nigerian economy is suffering from budgetary deficit. But look at the health sector. That is supposed to be the primary health center, where then the state you have a general hospital. How many primary centers are actually up and running? Can you actually go there and get quality healthcare? So I think for me, they're saying, okay, collaborate with the local government area education to develop. Go to those schools, see what's happening there. So sport for them is secondary.
I think probably one of these things is that the federal government looks at responsibility when everybody say federal government should employ. So at the end of the day, you don't optimize, because it is that optimal workforce that you're supposed to have. That's look. So that's why a lot of the money budgeted for each of these goes to personal cost and overhead, and then unnecessary traveling and extra code and stuff like that. Instead of staying here to look at
the 5 sub-bed, the ministry, the citizenship and leadership, NYC, NIS, NFL, you have like 96% of total budget going to total recurrent expenditure. So you have less than 4% for capital. So when you are saying development of sporting facilities, from where?
From where? No,
and that's why you see.
And they say 5%.
And that's why you see the sport minister approaching individuals, philanthropists to say no, because looking at this budget, the infrastructure maintenance and the development is zero. You cannot achieve anything.
They cannot.
So you now have to lean on individuals' goodwill to say yes. Let's help us maintain this.
And again, I think we should also give credit to the sport ministry for that Article 9, which is providing adequate motivation and incentive in the form of scholarship, training, grant, and award. In the period of this COVID, we have elite athletes who got 50,000 across board, both the physical and special sports.
That's why I even have a problem, because if elite athletes all over the world are the ones that are helping the society, our own elite athletes were living on palliatives. Can we take, if we have time to open the calls before we move to the next segment, let us see if we can take some calls now, if it is possible, before we go on break, so that I know our viewers are eager to join this particular conversation. So, if we are saying, looking at this document that we are saying here, is there any way somebody can come out of this? I mean, practicing sports in Nigeria, you understand? We are saying, last week we talked about Lewis Hamilton, that he earned 37 million, and he's worth 224 million pounds. That is his worth. Is there any way an active sportsman practicing sports as a career in Nigeria can earn enough based on what he's earning to say, I am good enough to take care of my family and also take care of, those
you see, Ken, you addressed this question like 3-4 weeks ago. Can you take sport as a career?
As a career,
so now, there's only so much government can do with respect to funding. Because really, there are a lot of contending issues for government to look at. Yes, I'm not saying sport is not critical, but what I'm saying is, you see, the most important thing in this article that government should focus on is creating an enabling environment.
Exactly what I'm saying here.
When you develop those infrastructure, when you have parks all around different local government areas, when athletes have places to train, and they train well, when you organize competitions, they are able to get sponsors. We're talking about Naomi Osaka as the leading female athlete in 12 calendar year. Yeah. Serena Williams has held that record for 4 years. And if you look at tennis, since 2003, it's been between Serena Williams, Maria Sharapova. And you see, once you do sport well, the private sector will come in. But that's not the case in Nigeria, because government is not providing an enabling environment for athletes to thrive. You see everybody having to come to national stadium. Even people, you would even say for Lagos State, yes, they've tried. They've created stadium and parking.
That is why
different places.
Let us want to go on a very short break. When we come back, the lines will still be open. But like we said, we are looking at the core of the issue. Stay with us. Yeah, celebrating the kids, celebrating our kids, the Festival of Football. Channels International Kids Cup, and that's going back to 2018. That was season 10, 2 seasons ago. Season 12 is still cooking. The finals will have been in the next 3 days, today's 24th, 25th, 26th, 27th. That is Children's Day, their day which we devote to them. But then, like we are saying, all hope is not lost. Let us conquer COVID-19. And I tell you, because the China Sport Classic will be there in November. But before then, we might still have it. Or after then, we must still have the Kids Cup 2020. 2020 is not gone yet, just 5 months. We still have about 7 months to go. So we are still very, very hopeful. So we're talking about, the budget for sports in Nigeria, how inadequate it is. I mean, it is not. It is non-existent when you compare to what we're talking about. We're talking about development. It's not just giving you money. All right, we'll have our caller there. Coming from all the way from South Africa. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
We're there fine. We are cool.
No. It's good to hear you guys. I've been watching you sing.
Yeah.
It's good to hear from you.
Thank you.
I was listening to you talk about facilities and all that.
Yes.
Yeah. I think the problem is just our ability to maintain what we have. We should be able to maintain what we have and put some effort, There are fields, you come to Nigeria, there are fields that people don't water, stadiums that they don't look after. The players, the teams need a place to practice, they need a place to train. But if it is not up to date, it just doesn't cost too much to maintain. But we're not putting a lot of effort in maintaining what we have. I think that's just the big problem we have.
But if you are an ex-international, you represented Nigeria, you played football in Nigeria, in the league. But you look at 4%, when 96% of the budget goes for recurrent expenditure, what will remain for them to kind of do those things, Peter? Hello.
Yeah, I'm listening to you. Yeah, hello.
Yeah, I'm saying from the analysts here, you are in the house, they are saying about 96% of the budget, even the R-Patri that some is for overhead costs. All right.
Okay.
Okay. Go on. Just go on.
Too well. Again, yes, we know the kind of country we come from.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know the kind of country we come from, and these things are so easy. I think everything lies with leadership. We need to get people that know what they want and have vision, not for themselves, but for the country. We have very talented athletes in Nigeria, be them athletes, be them footballers. When you see especially English players and French players, most of them are not as good as what we have. I'm just watching the China's Kids Cup. That's how you train them. That's how you prepare them. And when we say they're making budget for this, making budget for that, but what are we doing with what we have? What are we doing with what we already have? It is being able to enhance what we have that will help, where we are going. That the younger ones that are growing, then we'll begin to build on already what we have. But if we're in a place where what we have we can't maintain, okay, my prayer for this channel kids, that we are watching you on channel, is that there must be a follow-up policy, right? There must be a follow-up policy that we need to know where the player of the year was, 4 years ago. Where is he now? Have we attached him to a club side? How are we monitoring his development? And once we do that, we'll find out that we'll begin to produce great talent in Nigeria.
Thank you very much, Mr. Peterside. Peterside, like you said, is a pastor at a former national team goalkeeper, and then so he's seen this all. He's seen this all in Nigeria. He's there right based in South Africa.
Ken, you see, alluding to what he just said, and that's
which was exactly what you were coming
exactly
from. Yeah,
the ones we have. So look at it, for example, a local government will have a public works section, where they have gardeners, where they have a lot of artisans who are collecting salary. And yet, because they are not doing what is needed, nobody's monitoring, no tracking. The local government chairman will still go award contract to maintain a particular thing that can be done with using those employees that are already being paid personnel costs.
We also need to be fair. We run the personnel thing as a welfareist program.
Exactly.
Now, coming back to what Coach Onigbide was saying.
Always a caller from Ogun State. Hello.
Yeah, how are you doing?
Fine. How are
everybody,
you?
Gentlemen there.
Good afternoon.
The problem in this, I want to give you one example. A basketball MFM, because I'm really following them. Godwin and I now want to escort to Egypt, to go to the team to Egypt. The budget is 20 million. The same government have a basketball, want to use 350 million. Unfortunately, the 350 million is the budget from the basketball of the government. But the team from the MFM, head by Godwin, use 20 million. Go. So that is the problem. Inflation. So it's not make the government, individual. Because let me let you know one thing. To inflate money is the problem in the sport we have in this country. That is the problem. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Obo. Okay, we are still on this. But of course, like we say, we spice the stories. Let's take this tweet from Asisat, the stallion, one of our ambassadors, and who is doing well, and probably maybe she will be able to inspire a lot of other persons. And this is what she just tweeted in this time. She said,
I beg, who get private jet we know they use for now. Please come and carry me from Barcelona to Lagos. I want to go home.
I want to go home. Take me home. Okay, that is Asisat. Asisat wants to come home. Please now, who get private jet? When I just take this, when I carry her, go Barcelona, go bring my younger sister and come house. She wants to come home. She's feeling lonely. That's Asisat. That is the African footballer of the year. I think she's done about 4 times or so.
Yeah.
She's been winning it.
Our season is over. She's the
champion. They're the champion of the year.
She can afford to leave Barcelona and come to Lagos
come down
if the airspace are open.
Okay. We talk about because this. Moving. If she comes, they have a quarantine for 14 days.
14 days.
And
at our own expense.
Okay. Wait. I want to ask Yemi. Yemi, if you get a visa to go to Europe and you want to spend maybe 3 weeks or so, you go there, they quarantine you for 2 weeks, right? Mm-hmm. Then you have 1 week to spend. Mm-hmm. After that, when you come back, they quarantine you for another 2 weeks again. So. So you spend 28 days in quarantine.
But the borders are already shut.
Exactly, the borders are shut. So that's for now. Everybody should just stay safe, stay where you are. Asisat, yes, we understand that you want to come home, but stay safe, stay where you are. Things are clearing out gradually.
But they will be evacuating. we'll be evacuating citizens. The people are coming from different countries. So I mean, there is a prayer for that. I mean, they'll be evacuating citizens from one country
I think for
to
now,
the
I don't
other.
think Spain is in the
Spain is not in.
pipeline.
All right, okay. We are in Lagos here, and we have Darling. Hello, Darling. Hello. Hello, Darling. You are calling from Lagos. So what is happening? Okay, all right. Do try and call back while we move on. Let us also look at briefly talk about boxing for a second.
Kubra Pulev.
People are trying to say let the fight come between Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua. And the man is saying, I mean, for goodness sake, I am the guy that is next. So this is not done. And then he came out.
Sports is about the commercials. Which fight do people really want to see? Everybody wants a unification bout.
Who is everybody?
People want to see Tyson. Put it down. It's there. The marketers want Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua. But Kubra Pulev, yes.
Take that.
Saying there are two options. You either fight or vacate the title. Enough is enough. I can't wait to win this fight. I did it once when I didn't have to for Anthony Joshua.
To have his second match against
Ruiz Jr.
Yes.
Everything was against IBF rules, but I compromised. Yes, he allowed.
Go on.
A year has passed on, as they always have a reason to postpone. Not to fight me. There are two options. You either fight or vacate the title.
Yes.
And Eddie N has come out some days ago to say, yes, they are willing to take the fight. You know, this fight was originally built for the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium for the 20th of June.
All right.
That fight was postponed in view of the pandemic.
Let's go to Ogun State. Hello. Hello, Tola. Hello, Tola. Oh no! What is happening? We just spoke with us from a good stage just now. Tola, what is happening?
You know, this issue of budget is at the heart of everybody wants to contribute.
Yeah, we do this again. I mean, we'll continue it. We'll continue because that is we are saying until we go through the whole beginning from the first page to the last page. It's just 15 pages of national sport policy. That's exactly what Nigerians to actually look at it because there's supposed to be a review.
Exactly, because this policy take us to the next level.
Yes. So this was 2009. In 2019, there was supposed to be a review of the national sport policy. We're in 2020. So for now, this has not outlived its usefulness. It is a foundation that has been laid, and people want to build on that. So we want to see how that can be done. So Pulev says, the last time I was supposed to fight you. You understand?
I allowed you fight
Ruiz.
So now you want me to. So a lot of options are on the table.
Yeah.
It's been postponed from June, so they're looking at sometime in September. The Pulev camp is proposing a venue in Croatia. At the end, he's not saying that's not totally out of, but they would prefer to fight in London. And that's still very much on the table.
Okay, let me ask.
Pulev is making it look like Joshua is shying away from.
They are shying away 5 years because he has 28. He has won 28 of the 29 fights.
No doubt about that.
So Joshua
age is also not on his side. He wants to get this.
Age is not on his side. So let me ask you. Talk about the fight people want to watch. Between this fight and Michael Tyson taking out Evander Holyfield, which do you think people are going to watch?
I think it's this fight.
They're not going to watch Tyson Holyfield 3?
The Tyson Holyfield 2 settles everything.
Who said he settled?
The
man said I started. When John Foreman came back, what did you say? Did anybody give him the chance?
See, at 53 and 57,
yes,
I think he's only fit for a charity.
Can you fight Tyson at 53?
I was never a professional boxer, so I will not get into the ring with Tyson.
Now, the Tyson Holyfield 2 settles everything.
It settled
everything. Absolutely. They fought in 1996. They fought in 97.
Let's go to a boy. We have Henry is calling us. Hello, Henry.
Hello.
Hello, how are you, Henry?
I'm fine. I'm fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see you guys.
Thank you.
So, I'm fine. Yeah.
So go on.
I can see one of you over there.
Okay.
The problem we have in Nigeria sports is that those people on top of the government use our money. As in, they use our money to embezzle the sports money without putting into the factors that they channel the money to before now.
But if there is not enough to buy embezzle, in this case, they were unable to talk about inadequacy of the budget. That's what we are saying.
The inadequacy. Now, the 95% going to the
overhead,
the National Youth Service Corps.
Yes.
The money, the 95% of National Youth Service Corps should be out of Nigeria's sports policy.
Exactly.
Understand?
Yes.
If they need any budget for sports, let them budget it for sports. If they need any money for NYC agenda, let them budget by themselves.
Okay.
One, now look at local government levels. There's nothing like sports in the whole federation. For example, in the Ebonyi State, even the Ebonyi State government does not even put anything.
We'll come to the local government by next week.
Doesn't put any agenda.
Okay, Henry, sorry, we just have to cut you off because we are short for time.
So
but maybe next week call in. Which is local government are you calling from? Okay. Which is a local government, Henry?
For NYC. Let them just vote in that way.
Okay. All right, thank you very much, Henry. I will lose what. Okay, we leave.
So if we really want to reverse the trend, we need to take another look at this. And for the little ones that have been budgeted for sport, the administrators should manage it properly.
All right. Where?
Let's be faithful to the tenets of the sport policy.
Let's be faithful to the tenets of the sport policy. We can build on that. It's something that is evolving, and then we'll keep on reviewing and making it feasible for to withstand the test of time. I'm Ken Ochonogo. Have a COVID-free blessed Sunday.